Hello and welcome to the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast
for the sports collector. I'm Gary
Otero.
I'm Gary Lemaster.
Season 6, Episode 7, and we're going to be in Nashville, Vegas as you're listening to this, because you only listen right away.
Well, what was really funny was the messages that we got this week. I don't know about you. I got like 15 different DMs from listeners saying, "So did we miss you in Nashville?" I was like, shut up. I jumped the gun. I get it. It was funny. Haha, I'm a dummy. But we are actually...
Let's not move past that point you just made. Let's take our time there for a minute.
We are actually in Nashville as you see this. If you are in the area and you want to come to a cool show, come out and see us and enjoy the show.
Do you know where our tables are supposed to be in relation to the entrance?
I believe that we are literally right in the entrance, like right when you come in. We are with Underdog, and you should see those banners right when you come in, and I think we're right there.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah.
Prime location. I tell you what, I have, Keith's going to talk about it here in a little bit about cash flow and his business. Like, this is a week for me where we're setting up at a really large 3-day show. Like, I've been buying and buying and buying, and it's fun to buy, but it's more intimidating when you're buying for a really big show, because if it underperforms, your cash flow's cooked and you're sitting on inventory. So it's been an interesting week for me with that, but I know we've done a ton of buying. I know you have been too.
Oh yeah. It's a delicate balance. We didn't set up anywhere last week because we had this show coming up, and it was just like source. And
that makes for a more difficult whatnot. Like, so we're still building out whatnot shows, but if we don't have that stuff walking up, then we're out hunting, the first half of the week to see what we can find. I finished up today, got another stack up at Neuhart's of some good whatnot stuff. So that took a little bit, but it was down to the wire.
Yeah. And we're recording this on Tuesday, so we leave for Nashville in a couple of days. But yeah, long story short, if you're in the area, come say hi. We hear from people all the time. When are you going to be in our area? Well, hey, we're in Tennessee.
Yeah.
If you were coming to the show anyway, come say hey to us. We'd love to talk to you and meet you. Today's episode should be a lot of fun. Jason and I are both recovering from, death sinus cold of the winter.
Yeah. I got a sick kiddo upstairs that's got it now. So
yeah,
it's fun. I'm just going to sound annoying. I will have in the microphone what is referred to as awake apnea. You'll hear it in my breathing. It is just a common side effect of obesity is what I'm learning.
We're fat
guys. So we've got a lot of fun stuff. We got some fun show and tell with the stuff we've been buying for Nashville. That can always be really good back and forth. We're going to address some new stuff that's coming up. PSA did an interview with Mike Gio over at Sports Cards Nonsense. We want to talk about that. And then some questions that you guys have had along the way. And who knows where else we're going to go with this. This is an old school throwback episode. Everything except for Gary and I sitting next to each other around the same way too small table.
Right.
But this is just back and forth where I once again go in a monologue for 5 minutes. You don't get a word in, and we're just warming up.
I'll start keeping, now that we have this set up, I'll start keeping like some just like circus balloons, and I'll do balloon animals while you talk.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
No way those big meat bags on your hands have that kind of dexterity.
We almost forgot.
See you make one little doggy for me.
We almost forgot, and I want to announce it now, not at the end of the show.
I want to see you try to tie a balloon. I realize I've never seen this.
I don't have one with me, but I can tie a balloon.
Hold those mitts up. Let everybody see them. Good Lord Almighty.
I've got big hands. What do you want from me?
You should be one of those slap fighters, bro.
Oh, that would be fun.
World champ.
That might be fun. I don't know about world champ, but that would be fun. Anyhow, big shout out to a couple of listeners and followers who reached out to us recently and said, you know what you guys need to do?
Oh, yeah.
You know what you guys need to do? What your community needs more than anything else? You need a Discord. And Jason and I looked at each other after we realized what Discord was and meant. We were like, hey, that does sound like a good idea. So Jeff and Buddy said, hey, we're going to help you with this. So we are super excited to announce, and we'll remind you again at the end of the episode, that if not right now when you finish listening to this.
It's up now.
Yeah, it's up now. We're going to tell you how to go and hop into the Ballcard Show Discord.
Yeah.
just a place for the community to hang out, get to know each other more. Jason and I will be very active there. If you have questions, it'll be a place there'll be a mailbag spot for you to have questions, content ideas, things you want us to talk about on the podcast. That's the place for it. If you're wanting to sell stuff to us, we get tons of PMs for people saying, hey, do you guys buy this? There's going to be a spot for you to do that there.
We're going to avoid a full-blown marketplace in there for a while. What we really, the more that we understood this, as it was explained to us old farts, is that this is a better place for more organic community within the space. So those of you that are actively engaged, you're more likely to hop on the Discord and ask a question about your card business that maybe you wouldn't put it on Instagram or TikTok, and you don't necessarily want to bug somebody with a message. This is a great spot for that.
Yes.
We'll have stuff for low-end cards. We'll have opportunities to talk about prospecting. I haven't even shared this with you. I just got done talking with Keith about this hour and a half ago as we were filming Shop Talk, and he is open to having an LCS channel where you can ask an LCS owner anything you'd like to know, and then he'll check that on a regular basis. So maybe it's about products that are dropping, or what are they seeing people interested in, or that would be a spot to maybe ask about some non-sport stuff that we know nothing about, but Keith does. So
yeah,
this is going to be a place we will be actively involved in it. The opportunities are significant there, but man, we want to get to know you more. We want to learn more. We want to be adding value there. And so go join that Discord. We also have a link tree now. You're going to start seeing things like QR codes that have everything in them, stickers, merch, banners, all kinds of fun stuff that'll be rolling out soon. Step one with this is get this Discord up and rolling. So it's live right now. Go give it a follow, join the Discord, join the conversation. And then bonus points for Patrick Ewing posts.
Absolutely. We will always take the Ewing in the chat posts.
That's right.
All right. So now it is time to take just a minute. Everybody's favorite segment every week. Let's go up to Neuhart Cards for Shop Talk.
Hi, this is Keith at Neuhart Cards, and this is Shop Talk. Wanted to talk about something that we don't talk a whole lot about in this industry, and it's cash flow. You hear the words liquidity all the time. Basically, the definition of liquidity is how fast I can turn that card or that asset into cash, right? Cash flow is a little bit different situation. It's a little bit longer term view. So longer term can mean daily, weekly, monthly, or annually, right? So when I talk about cash flow, it's basically being able to manage how much comes in versus how much goes out. And how much goes out not only includes product, but it includes salary, it includes taxes, it includes rent, it includes all of those things, right? So to maintain cash flow positive is an important part of any business, but especially the card business. And the reason why I thought about this week is there are 22 product lines coming out. So, as an average shop, let's say you spend $2,000 per product line, you're looking at $50,000 a week on stuff that may be liquid, maybe not liquid. I think National Treasures comes about, but then a lot of little things, some Leaf products and some Tops retail as well. So, that's a $50 or $50,000 cash outflow. How do we manage that? How do we as a shop, turn that into a positive flow? So are we going to sell through all that product? More than likely, absolutely not. That's what keeps inventory on the shelves. And also, how do you manage that? What we like to do, we use short-term credit financing, right? So everything is 30 days or in. So as long as we pay that off within 30 days, no fees, no charges, no interest, right? So that allows us to scale our business, where when we first started, our first 5 years, it was all cash. Just because I didn't want to get into that game where, I got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Now that we've scaled that business a little bit, we're able to use things like, structured financing or credit lines, just to be able to kind of fund what we do. So not only do those product lines come out, but we also have to maintain for buying deals. We bought a lot of stuff yesterday, so we have to be able to manage that as well. So cash flow really important in this business, as in any business, but especially something like this that we have so many product lines coming out, cards coming in and out. So again, if you ever have any questions, I'm open and free. Ask Jason and Gary as well, but I love talking about the business side of it. So this has been Keith, and this has been Shop Talk.
All right, well, let's dive in.
We're late to this conversation, regrettably.
Well, we're late to the conversation, but I don't want to say regrettably. When this first happened, we talked about it, and we wanted to be thoughtful about how we responded to it. And as we were working through that, everybody and their brother had a take. Yeah. And so rather than appearing like we're trying to piggyback, we said, let's just give it a week and then we'll talk about it. If you live under a rock and you're not aware, Sports Card Radio did a live, 2 weeks ago now? Mm-hmm. Right after the Pac-Man situation happened. And we talked about that. And Sports Card Radio, if you're not familiar, they are the over-the-top Howard Stern style.
Wow, you just dated yourself there. Holy cow,
Howard Stern still does his thing.
I know, but nobody under the age of 30 knows him.
Well, I dated myself.
That was a good parallel, though. I like that.
They are
shock value entertainment.
Shock value and intensely negative on purpose. They say things to poke the bear. They do things that are on the edge of propriety a lot.
Yeah.
They have stepped over that line several times over the years.
Sure.
And this last time they stepped so far past the line that you can't see the line behind them anymore. Yeah. I'm not going to say what they said, but they made a horribly racist statement about Pac-Man, about Asian culture, and not good.
And then proceeded to make continual posts pointing out like stereotypes and just basically saying, said it, don't care, double down on it, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry there.
No, that's that. And so that type of a thing within this space is wholly within any space. I don't even want to say within this space. That type of commentary, that type of statement is not only unnecessary, it is abhorrent, and it has no place in society. It has no place in civilized culture.
Yep.
If you find yourself seeing something like that and laughing or agreeing or defending, I got no use for you. Yeah. And I will say that with my full chest. There have been a couple other creators that spoke about it and then went on to not necessarily defend it, but to try to soften their criticism.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about. We've mentioned this several times. Freedom of speech does not equal freedom of consequence, especially in the sports media space. Sports media. Like, here's what's funny. I can hear their voice. So first off, let me just go ahead and let you guys off the hook, SCR. We're small nobodies. We barely make enough. We're selling cards. We're not rich. I don't wear $1,000 Louis sweaters, and I don't drive a stupid-ass Tesla truck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't.
We're also not scared of you.
We're also, we're also not intimidated by what could happen but we're not even on your radar. And that's probably how it should be. But to continually make these types of statements, there's no remorse. There's no regret. You're clearly like the irony from this for me is this, right? They hate the clickbaity. They hate the arena pack. They hate
but that's their
industry
whole
grift. But their whole shtick is clickbait, shock value,
rage post. Yeah,
they want to Janet Jackson Super Bowl every episode, right? And so what you get with those types of takes is you get very direct and entertaining content. The problem is, as you talk more and more, people find out what kind of person you are. And so the problem we have isn't necessarily that you've been negative from time to time as a show, or that you said things that you shouldn't. It is a problem, but it's this nature of just like, don't care.
Well, and more importantly for me,
that speaks more to you than anything.
The fluidity and naturalness with which you said what you said.
That was so comfortable.
Tells me that you say those things in your day-to-day life.
And there's 2 seconds of something that happens in that clip that I want everybody to pay attention to that's taking a dive into this. Watch his brother smile the moment he says it.
Yeah.
Watch him, and you know what that look is? That's gonna get us some views.
Yeah.
And if that's the price tag for staying relevant in the space, which I know you're going to say you don't want to, and this and that, but you had the eBay store, and then you got tired of ESE shipping issues. That died out really quick. And then we're going to do a show, and then you get kicked off of doing the show. And now we're doing 3D plastic mold separators for that while flexing a Louis sweater and a Tesla truck. I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm confused at what's real. But the things that you said that you weren't willing to walk back or apologize for, that's probably the most real thing you've done. So
Well,
now we know. Now we
Yeah.
know what's entertainment. So flat out, now we know what's entertainment and what's not with Sports Card Radio. The
Yeah.
way that they've addressed this, it's very clear. That is what they think.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care what I'm saying. And it would be allowed. They don't have any followers. They don't have anything. That's fine. Say all this
Don't care. Yep.
We know who you are now.
Yeah. And that's the important part.
A disappointing thing to find that out.
It is. And the other disappointing thing in all this, a guy that I actually tend to like his content, even though it tends to be a little more shine light in the dark corners of stuff. Dan the Card Man talked about this, and he had a take within it that I loathed. And he said, I don't support what they said, but the people that are doxing them are just as bad. No, they're not. No, they aren't. Within a space where you are a content creator and you are putting yourself out there in front of people to either monetize or to be relevant within the space.
Yeah.
When you say something that stupid, how else are you held accountable?
Yep.
How else are you held accountable? If you say something like that, hell yeah, somebody should reach out to your employer and say, hey, you want this person representing your brand?
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't disagree less. Now, do I think that the word doxing is the right term to use there? No, doxing typically means that you're reporting some type of a crime and the SWAT unit shows up at the house. Right. This is just somebody saying, people going, hey, we know where you work. We're going to make sure people know who you are.
Right.
Yeah. FAFO, bro.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, and it's this weird thing. I know that it's funny. There's like this new sentiment now with the larger platforms that do more of the corporate sponsors, the industry grift, if you will. But here's the reality. If Gary and I want monetized content, the reality is there's a handful of brands that own everything.
Yep.
And so if you're speaking honestly about those things and you have issues with them, you're going to make enemies a lot quicker than you're going to make friends, right?
Right.
Guys like this that are doing this stuff, they say that they hate the card space. They say it's all a chase to the bottom. They say it's all going to zero. How can we miss you if you won't go away?
Right? Like, if you hate it that much, why are you here?
It's a big don't forget about me. And they raise the stakes every time they go live to hope for more of that. Now, listen, have they historically been very entertaining? Do they get people in the room? Do their live numbers crush? Yes, absolutely. But in the shadows, you're going to have Professor Sport Cards. You're going to have other people that see a model that they're like, I like this, but I want to do this my way or this, that. So it's like, if you hate the space, you have those type of, you wouldn't be saying this because he does like he does like investing in stock content. You imagine if he said that on that page?
Yeah. Well, and I think that, we're probably
why do some people think that's allowable because we're in a hobby?
Well, I'm going to answer your question.
We both know the answer here, but just say it, because the reality is there are people that are.
There are a lot of people who will agree with that in this hobby. Yes. Unfortunately, we see it a lot. We see a lot of ignorance, socially, politically. And it's not a side or the other side. It is just ignorance of reality in a lot of ways, and it's prevalent within this space. And it's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
And you know what? Here's how I know somebody's not actually in it. Now, I know they had a shop back in the day, not around anymore. I know they had shows, not affiliated with them. I know they had an eBay store humming for 5 minutes. I don't think it is anymore. I know they have a multi-million-dollar 3D plastics and scalping parking tickets as long as they can. That's just you speak from some place of experience, right? Because here's what we know. The guys that are making money in sports cards aren't making that much money. That's the truth. So when you're flexing, right? When you're flexing that, like, there's a few guys at the top, and then there's a lot of people just grinding it out in this space.
Yep.
And you know what's really sexy in this space? Paying your bills and having cash left over and having enough inventory for the next show or what's coming up. That's really sexy in this space.
Yeah.
But this idea that it's like a zero sum, that you're either a bajillionaire in this space or you shouldn't even be messing with it.
Right.
Kick rocks. I don't care.
Yeah.
So here's the real question. Historically, when this stuff happens in the hobby, it's talked about and then it's ignored. Danny brought that up in Cut the Nonsense months ago, and it's been true. Like, people tend to forget about it. Do you think people forget this time?
I think that forget's the wrong word. I think that people will either ignore because they're afraid of those guys.
Yeah.
Because those guys will be petty and go after you if they can find anything to go after you for.
Yeah.
We already laid out. You want to come after us? That's cool. We're two guys who pay our bills doing this. We're not rich. We do okay, and we grind it out with showcases that cap out at probably a $1,500 card.
And we try to show who we are too in our content.
Yeah, and we're the same people on this camera as we are when you see us at a show, as we are when we hang out with our wives.
Yeah.
There's no gimmick here. Right. We're not scared of you. So for us, we're not going to forget. And with the limited microphone that we have, we will call out your ignorance and your racism. And if you do it again, we'll call it out again. We won't forget. That's what I can say. Other people might.
And we're not even going to tell other people what to do. But I will say this again, last time, and then we can move on because we're really talking
beating a dead horse. Yeah.
All you saw is exactly who they are.
Yep.
What you decide to do with that information is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no more question. It's not the first time they've said something like this. They've been flirting with this over time. And I've saw even some of the lives before they kind of ended everything. And I know there's a lot of rumors back and forth. That's none of our business. Don't need to end that. If you don't have to support content you disagree with. If you don't like stuff Gary and I say, don't unsubscribe. Quit watching our stuff. People ask you about us, you don't like us, tell them. Tell them why.
Doesn't hurt us.
That's okay. There should be some level of accountability here. It sounds like they're dealing with some, but they're also loving the attention right now.
Yeah.
But when you act like that and there's no sign of remorse, what that means is 1 + 1 is 2. You've shown everyone exactly who you are and how you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm hopeful that enough people have common sense to address that appropriately.
That's our statement on the Sports Card Radio situation. A week and a half later than everybody else. Hopefully, as a hobby, as an industry, we can all agree that there's just no space for that.
Yeah.
That would be my hope.
Hopefully you're done. Hopefully I won't ever see another piece of content. Hopefully I don't see them in the space. And unfortunately, in the times we live in, we probably will. And they're probably going to have some people that support them more. And that's the saddest thing about all of this.
Yep.
But y'all, all you doing that can quit spending money with us. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. All right, let's go on. So Mike Geo, Sports Cards Nonsense, has an interview with a PSA president, and I watched it over the weekend. Now, one thing I'll say, and Mike made very clear, hey, Collectors is a huge sponsor of ours. It was obvious that he was trying to be delicate's probably not the right word, but he just kept bringing that up of like, hey, this is a filter, just so you guys understand. He kept saying it throughout the show. He even said it when he had some things that he disagreed with or he didn't quite feel as happy about. Now, I'd like to talk about what was said in the interview. I'd like to talk about solutions, and then there's a couple ways to respond to this. So let's just dive in, Gary.
Sure.
So can you give us a synopsis of just what was being said from PSA in regards to the recent upcharge on service and delay in turnaround time?
So that was the whole purpose of the interview. PSA was like, who has the loudest voice in the podcast space in the community? It's Sports Card Nonsense.
Hey, we give them money. Let's get an interview.
Yeah, let's go on and let's at least make a fumbling attempt to justify ourselves. That's what it felt like. Now, in general, if you live under a rock, PSA increased their prices on most submission levels outside of the highest tiers. by anywhere from 8 to 20%.
Yep.
And they pushed expected turnaround times out another business week on all those tiers.
Yep.
Those service times already weren't real life. Like I know people who have subs that were received in September that haven't gotten them back yet.
Right.
Those times are probably about 60 to 65% of what you should actually expect.
Yeah.
And so they came on and tried to explain their reasoning for all that.
Yeah.
Now here's the reality. From a business standpoint, we can say what we can complain about.
What did they say though, Gary? What did they say about?
Yeah, what they said was they have basically 2 levers that they can use to try to control submission volume, because that's the game they have to play.
Right.
They want, trust me when I say they likely would love to get everything back to people in 30 or 45 days.
Yeah,
they would love that.
Yep.
But they also have limited resources. So they said we can control this with 2 things: turnaround times and pricing.
Yeah.
What they are trying to do, they didn't say this, but this is the goal. They want submissions to come down. They want them to slow
later
down.
In the interview, they kind of implied like, so Mike just directly asked him, so do you want people to reconsider before submitting? Like, and I think they were already kind of talking about the lower end stuff of like, and he said, absolutely. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
So that, to your point, they're not saying like, this is not just a money grab situation. This is, we are beyond capacity.
Yes.
We do not have the resources. We got 2 things we can do to try to right this ship. It's turnaround time and it's cost. And if both happen, we're really trying to throttle things so our team has a chance to catch up. Is that correct?
That is correct. Now, you watched that and understood that, but you also had a different reaction to it than I did.
So I think damage control is a really big word. That's probably not the right one. But the frequency, or the frequency is not the word. How they immediately wanted to do this interview right after the announcement, when you had major players like Tyler Santiago is just like, I can't keep doing this to my people, because the piece of this that's affected by a lot of people that submitted a high volume is you have these group submitters that, let's say it's $20 let's say it's $25 to grade a card. They'll charge another $3. They handle everything for you. You drop it off at your LCS. Well, what happens when there's 300 of the 500 slabs, or maybe 500 or 1,000 that are going to be sent off in the next month, and everybody's dropped those off and given their 3, and then that price goes up before it's been submitted? Well, now that LCS is left holding the bag. There was no heads up. There was no, hey, this is going on. But I feel like PSA would love the attention to be centered around, hey, we have a lot more cards coming in. Golly gee, what are we going to do? I guess we'll slow down. We'll be back in a few months. Nope. We've been here. We have been here. We have stayed here. We haven't gone anywhere else. And then there was one little thing that got my call as president speaking. He said, we had promos in 2023. We had quick turnaround times. The market was softening, and we'd love the opportunity to do that again. Oh, thank you, PSA. Hopefully the market will crash enough for me to get a reasonable turnaround on a graded card. Well, what did we do when this happened before? Most businesses that say, hey, this was a real problem. We had a massive delay, huge backlog. I mean, you remember it was like 8-9 months at one point through COVID, right?
At one point it was like 13-14 months.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was insane.
So what happened in those times? Let's take a look. So you had BGS, which was still doing BGS things at the time. Nobody had a clue. Like, guys, get it together was what everybody was hoping for. SGC provided a quick turnaround, a competitive market, even if it wasn't getting PSA numbers, and they climbed. It's amazing what happens when service and quality of service drops, how the demand for an alternative increases. The exact timeline he's talking about with that was the on-ramp for SGC to put a bigger dent, likely in more of the ultra-modern stuff.
Yep.
It was already a staple for vintage for many collectors.
Yep.
But it began to provide liquidity. And 9.5s were starting to become a game where people were looking for those because they grade tougher. At the time, the centering wasn't the same for PSA, and there was a 9.5 resub flip as well for people. So you have all of these things happening with this massive delay. PSA decides once it slows down, let's buy up all the competition and not prepare for the next time something happens. The next time that there's more demand. Let's buy up all of the resources Like, what are we doing? You just bought SGC a year ago. You just bought BGS. You told us that you were going to utilize the trainees, blah, blah, blah. And then in the interview, it's like, well, every company has a different process, and BGS already is backlogged, and SGC, what? No. You were doing this so that PSA could have a family of grading companies. We're going to do this boutique, blah, blah, blah. But it was to utilize those resources. Where are the resources? Where's the utilization? So you either have a capital issue, a strategy issue, or a leadership issue.
I think that you have...
well, hold on. 3 things that will probably solve this problem. Capital, I don't think it's a financial issue at all.
No.
So you either have a leadership issue, meaning we just went through a historic growth spurt with COVID. Did we learn nothing? Did we learn? You're projecting, you're seeing this growth happening. It happens quick, but it's not overnight, right? You've been through this.
I'm
not done. How many RJ Barrett base prisms did you guys grade? How many Rui Hachimuras did you grade to learn nothing? To learn absolutely nothing about what to do. There was no preparation for this. So what you've done effectively is you said, hey, sorry, we'd love to give you the experience you want. Maybe the market will soften enough. Shame on you for submitting so many cards that we can't grade them quickly enough. So maybe the market will die out where we can, hey, at that level, if we could get back to 2023, then we could be running on all cylinders again. Get out of here. If you're going to buy out all the competitors, provide, here's all people want. PSA, listen in here. Come in. I'm going to bring you in here. PSA. What people want, I know you think it's about the offers and it's about the repacks. They want a freaking grading company that grades their cards consistently and gives the cards back when they say. That's it. And then you've eliminated the competition. So now we're left holding the bag, and it's our fault because you're too busy.
So here's the cold hard.
We should be past this point. You've had an opportunity to do this. Well, you should have figured this out.
You're making one assumption, and I think it falls under the branch of your 3 things of leadership. You're making an assumption here that I think is an incorrect assumption, and that is that PSA actually cares. I don't think their current leadership does. I think their current leadership...
When you care about what, though? I mean,
the happiness of their consumer. Because what PSA's current leadership believes, in my opinion, and I base this on a few things, part of is that interview, because it wasn't what he said, it was the way he said it, which was, you'll get what you get, and that's just what it's going to be. And we don't really have control over what you get. The overall market does.
Right.
And there was no like tone of, hey, I really hate that this is the way it is. It was just, deal with it.
Yes. No tone of, hey, we realize it must be. There's no empathy.
Yeah.
For the collector. And that's the part. That's
yes.
And
that leads
that same interview. He just should have said, hey, look, we should have seen this coming. We've been through this before.
Yeah.
But that arrogance.
But that leads me to what I believe to be the case. I do not think that they give a crap about the consumer experience. They have done everything in their power to put themselves in a position where they don't have to care about the consumer experience. They know that the vast majority of people who are looking to grade cards to make money are going to send them to them. They have also positioned themselves, as we have talked about ad nauseum, to get a little piece of the profit at every single stage of a card's life.
Yep.
That's why cash flow isn't an issue. They are making money every time you turn around.
Let me pause you real quick and ask a question. And I want to pick right up where you are.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be way more profitable for them to figure out how to grade more efficiently than to do all this other stuff? Like because literally I don't know what the cost is to, that machinery, the grading, the employees, I'm sure, but the margins from what I understand at looking at something and going, that's line.
The margins
pretty
are
good.
great, and they don't pay their graders well.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think their senior graders cap out at under $30 an hour, and that's in California. Yeah. So,
but what I'm saying is the most profitable thing for them would have been making a priority of being efficient as a grading company and not all this other crap nobody's asking them for.
Well, again, though, you're talking about
even selfishly, I think it's a poor strategy.
Well, I don't disagree, but I think from their standpoint, you're approaching this in a mindset, same approach that I would have. We are a grading company.
Right.
I don't think PSA looks at themselves as a grading company.
No.
I think they look at themselves as the hub of the hobby, and we're going to make money on everything in the hobby. Grading is part of that.
Yep.
And if grading goes away, we lose the rest of it.
Yep.
But we've bought all of our major competitors. Our next best competitor, 80% of what they grade is TCG, which we don't really care that much about.
Right.
Where else are you going to go?
Yep.
And so now the focus is, how do we make as much money everywhere? We're not just a grading company anymore. And that in and of itself is problematic on its own, because to your point, all we want as participants in this space is to have consistent grading and get our stuff back when you say you're going to, at a price that is fair. That's all that anybody in this space wants. PSA doesn't really provide that. They provide liquidity, and that's about it. And that's how it's going to be, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not going away anytime soon. And we, not Jason and I, but as a collective, we who participate in this hobby are why it's not going away anytime soon. It doesn't go away until every single one of us is willing to pay as much for a CGC slab as we are for a PSA slab, or a tag slab as much as we are for a PSA slab.
Well, and
until that happens,
if PSA was gone tomorrow, then it would happen. Like if PSA was gone, people would select, and within a year we would have a new one emerge. But there are some basic leadership and strategic leadership. Then I know people are thinking, what are they, blah, blah, blah. I actually spent a little bit of time working on this.
Jason's a little bit of an expert on this stuff.
Worked with the leadership development company as well. Anyway, Jim Collins wrote this book, Good to Great. It's like, when it comes to like a synthesized leadership book that most people on a corporate level will read, Good to Great is on the list. It's probably a top 15, maybe a top 10. But one of the things Jim Collins talks about is the hedgehog concept. And he says the hedgehog has it figured out. While a lot of animals don't, the hedgehog has it figured out. I got one job if everything is crashing in front of me. I got one thing that I got to do, but I only have to do that one thing well. And if my life is threatened, I curl up into a ball. That's what the hedgehog does. And I'm pretty darn good at it, and I'm still around because of it. But what you have with businesses is they have a tendency to have an impact in market, and then they see that they have, what's it called, where you have a large reach into that space, essentially, but a footprint, right? And they see other opportunities. And what happens is the mom and pop restaurant that has been very profitable decides we should double this space. And you know what? We're going to do a bar, and we're going to open it up. And then they go get a liquor license. And within a year, it's not even the same spot anymore. You can't go grab that, you know? And all those other things can make you less efficient at being the hedgehog. So what I'm trying to say is PSA got distracted because Collectors has this massive footprint. It's a gold rush right now for anybody that's got the capital to throw some weight around. And they said, I want all of it. I want a little bit of all of it. Rather than just saying, we are going to be the best grading company, not because we're the only option, not because we have money, but because we're actually providing the best value to the consumer. And they're not doing that anymore. And what saddens me a little bit, so there's a tone with this. What I just explained for PSA is the exact same things that Fanatics is doing with the LCS.
Yeah.
It's no different. You know, you had your favorite spot where you went and got biscuits and gravy. It's going to be gone before long. Fanatics is literally encouraging LCS owners to discourage people from opening an LCS on an actual call. They're saying these things.
Well, they're saying we're not going to give you distribution.
No. They're telling shop owners, if anybody brings up the idea of opening a shop, just tell them forget it.
Yeah.
So it's like, just could we figure out the grading? Can we figure out the turnaround? And then we can fuss about all the other stuff. But if how many times would you go to the more expensive steakhouse and get bad service and go back? How many times did you do that? I would do it one time. I wouldn't go back.
Here's the difference, Jason, and this is why it's different.
If I'm paying up more, why am I getting less?
Well, but here's the difference. When you go to a steakhouse and you have a bad experience, you're not leaving with anything. When I go to PSA and it takes 6 months to get my card back, but I still can sell it for 50% more than anywhere else.
Yep.
Like, it is what it is. And that part of it doesn't change until collectively as a hobby, people are willing to pay more for other slabs.
So then PSA, by their decisions, is acknowledging that all we do is bring liquidity to the market.
Correct.
That's 100% of our value is our red label brings more liquidity.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, suck it up.
Exactly. That's exactly.
And if you want to compete with us, we'll buy you.
Yep. That's exactly.
And as you're floundering, we're going to say, man, these are. So now they're spinning people. This happened before, guys. Hey, huge backlog. Oh, you guys should check out BGS. They're great. Oh, you guys should check out SGC. That's a great boutique brand. Now they're starting to market SGC for ultra modern and all this stuff. Like, they don't know what they're doing. They just wanted when they had the chance to take out the competitors.
Yes, absolutely.
Now
that's where we're at.
Back to this. Do I want to see more PSA base rookies? No. I think, a good thing would be seeing that stop. There should be some out there, but it should not be 50,000, pop report, right? Of a C+ quarterback from 2 years ago. There shouldn't be all that. We don't need all that.
Well, here's the problem, Jason. There are still creators out there trying to tell people that the only way to make money in this hobby is to buy raw and grade with PSA and flip it when you get it back.
Yeah.
And that's how they make their money, selling you their ebook or their course or whatever else. And some of these people are predatory, not just to their consumer, not just to the hobbyist, but they're predatory to dealers. There's a couple guys that walk around and ask gotcha questions to dealers and record them and throw it up and try to make dealers look bad to sell their books.
I've been seeing that.
Give me a break.
I think you were on that channel once.
I was, but I didn't get a gotcha question. I got a regular question, but I see guys trying to make guys that we know and have a lot of respect for look bad with jerk questions. And it's like, stop with that stuff. But that's why all the base stuff is out there, because people are being told that that's how you make money. Jason and I grade a total of 7 or 8 cards a year between the two of us at the most. And we
buy a ton of PSA slab cards. Yeah.
But we don't send them. It just doesn't make sense.
That's a piece in the business model where I am giving up the opportunity to churn for 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 2 months if I pay up. I can already outpace that by just moving raw and selling 3 cards. I've already done it. I've already doubled up. Give me $100 card. I sell it 3 times. I've already done that in 3 weeks, and I'm already past the profit on that PSA 10 that I'm waiting on. So, assuming it has the same value card, right? But boil it down, all I want to say is this. Yes, PSA has to do something. I'm not surprised that we have to extend the dates out and charge more as a way to get control of that.
That is a correct
not a problem.
Business thing. That
makes sense. Anybody saying they don't need to do that, something needs to happen, because clearly they got to catch up, right?
Yep.
What I don't like is you talking about all these enhancements over the last couple of years and all the things you're doing with the brand and a better customer experience and easier handoffs, and you still can't freaking figure out how to get a decent grade.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then you're acting like, well, if you guys quit sending in so much. No, you didn't want any competitors. You wanted all the juice. It's right here. You got all the grades now. Grade your shit. Get it done. Do your job.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most animated I've seen you get in a while.
If I love put all my inventory out and nobody can buy it, I don't pay my bills, right?
Yeah.
If I don't have inventory and I walk into, this is very basic things. Pay somebody for the service, receive the service. If you can't do that, you got to extend the times. But then don't turn around, pee on my back, and tell me it's raining.
Yeah, I love animated Jason. Normally, I'm the one that gets fired up about this stuff. I like it when you do.
It was the tone of it. It was make it all about the demand. And don't bring any history into it for all these people that have been trusting you that you're going to keep improving the experience when the experience is getting worse. It's not getting better.
When you don't own the obvious flaws, it's one thing as a company, if he comes out and says, you know what, guys, we do have to do this right now. We hate that we have to do it. There's probably some things we could have done over the last year to prepare a little bit better. We miscalculated.
And next time we will
there's
learn
guys
from me that'll be like, okay, cool. They're getting it.
Yeah.
They're working on it.
But when the tone is, none of this is our fault, this is just the market, you're going to have to deal with it. I think that's where Jason gets fired up.
If you guys want to build a plane at 30,000 feet, that's fine. I'm not buying a ticket, though.
Right.
I'm not buying a ticket.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the issue. And it's this tone of we're just too dumb to think any different about it.
Yeah.
Quit sending in your base, kids. We'll figure it out. Give us a year. Maybe we'll go back to that 2023 line is what got me.
Can I give you another statement that you're going to agree with and not like that I say?
Sure.
A lot of people in this space are that stupid.
Oh, could be.
It is. I hate to say that, but
Could
it
be.
is.
Could be.
Anyhow.
Hey, tell us in Discord what you think about this. We'll start a thread on this whole story.
We will.
Whew, that was a lot of hobby negativity.
As we like to call it, hobby reality. Yeah, the news. But like we said, we're in Nashville right now, and we want to show you, instead of our normal show and tell, we just want to show you the 3 or 4 coolest things that we are taking to Nashville with us. I will start this time with a card that may be the 3rd best Steve McNair card in existence outside of his 2 PMGs. From an iconic set, 1998 Rookies and Stars. This is the Red Crusade, numbered to 25 in a PSA 10.
Yeah.
Iconic set. There's never been a sale of this card in a 10. There's one raw sale and one 9 sale several years ago. That's it. And this is a sick card if you're a McNair person and you want to have one of his top 2 or 3 cards that exists, come see us.
All right. First one I want to show off. This is just the reason that I love Topps Chrome. The star refractors are back. The resale value on these is a lot stronger than some even expected. This one's the purple basketball. I think these are the 75, but it's a color match LeBron. You know, that first license year with Topps Chrome back on a refractor. Guys, pay attention to these. Some of these stickers in the next few weeks. I don't know where this stuff lands going into playoffs and more product drops, right? But some of these were a lot stronger on value. And I'm talking like several auctions, not just some buy stuff that snapped up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that stuff back.
Another Titans card. This is 1999 Contenders. This is the Finesse Gold Eddie George, numbered to 25. Another card, 3 sales ever. The most recent was 2 years ago.
Yep.
The card is really nice. And it's gorgeous. Again, from an iconic set.
All right, I got the 1995 All-Star Game. Ooh. Nolan Ryan on-card auto, hand-numbered to 500.
Ooh.
So this is a throwback to the 90 or the 68 set. And then it was in 1995. So I can't figure out yet, is this a redemption? Was it something that was handed out in packs at the All-Star Game? But it is a really cool card. Have you seen that one?
No, but it's kind of it's really similar to that Seaver that I have. Just one of those wicked cards that you just aren't going to see again.
I bet this one's gone first day just because it's, and at the price point, there are some comps. It's pretty accessible on a Nolan licensed auto. So,
yeah, this is a fun one. I picked this up a couple weeks ago. This is a Panini Instant Steph Curry. This is the White Tiger. It's numbered to 5. Now, what's fun about this is if you look at it, you're going to see it doesn't say that. This is mislabeled. So I'm putting the cert number up there for you. You guys can go look up that cert number. It's going to come up as a $22 card because it was mislabeled.
Oh, geez.
But it is numbered 3 of 5. So
I'll give you 15 for that one, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. 1997 Skybox Premium Autographics Eddie George, hand numbered to 100 on card auto.
Gross.
Beautiful card. I think this is a pop 3 total with 2 9s in SGC above it. I didn't look at the PSA, so there may be more than that, but only 100 of these out there. I grabbed a couple Eddie Georges, just thought be a good spot for it at the Nashville show.
Yeah. Last one for me. Really cool one again. Can't go wrong with classic Nolans. 1969, first solo Nolan Ryan card, PSA 4. Not super high grade, but still a really strong card. A lot of good value there.
Grab another one because I got 5. All right, Gary. If you got another one out.
I don't. Go ahead. You go ahead and go back to back. I don't think I have anything crazy
all right, guys.
Here.
Topps Chrome, LeBron James rookie. What do we do with this? HGA 95. Now, HGA was known for having pretty harsh grading standards. Company was getting a lot of juice going into COVID, and then they ran into several issues. Quality control. There were videos of
Terrible
employees with
mismanagement.
like Cheetos out at their table while they were grading
It's
cards.
bad.
There were some of the same issues with Sports Card Radio with the owner. But this is a 9.5. PSA 9s, the last couple have popped off around 23, 24. So I made it'll be interesting to see what happens with this if the Topps Chrome stuff gets some more love.
I think it's a $2K to $2,200 card. That's what I think.
Probably all day.
Yeah.
Yep. And then last card I have, it's my first time putting one of these in a showcase.
Ooh,
So it's going to be a slow roll. This is going to be a slow roll, guys. Sabonis on the red PMG number 200. That's a big boy.
Yeah, it is.
I believe a 5 just sold for like $6,500.
Yeah.
So
I've seen that card. I think it's in just as good of a shape. I think it's in that 6 range. Eyeballing it myself.
So that'll be there. That'll be set up. That's a weird one. And then his European market is actually pretty strong on that card. So
yeah.
First red PMG to put out in the showcase. So you can at least come ooh and ah over it or throw an offer in. But looking forward to having that one down there as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's some of the cool stuff we're taking to Nashville with us, in addition to all the other fun stuff that'll be in our showcases. We tell you guys this all the time. If you're looking for a table that has gold Josh Allens and dozens of 5-figure cards, just come say hi to us. Don't look at our cards because we don't have that. But if you're looking for really cool stuff that you're not going to see a lot of other places, that is unique and interesting, we're the stop. We're the place to stop. Should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Looking forward to it. You want to do some mailbag?
Let's do some mailbag. Yeah.
So this will be something available on Discord as well. Mailbag questions where you'll be able to submit questions for us to consider answering on the pod. Lately, we've been just looking through IG and saying, what are the questions that we were getting the most? And maybe we can help out with a few. We had a situation this week where somebody hit a big baseball card, brand new product of 5 auto, no comps, big prospect name. And they were like, what do I do? Like, it's baseball season. It's coming up. Do I put this up on eBay right now? Should I grade it? Do I wait to see how they turn out? And I know some of this stuff is regurgitated for a lot of you, but just remember, so many people getting back into this space stumble onto our content because it is much more instructional than a lot of what's out there. And it's much more tangible and realistic than some of the content that they see of people just like ripping 5 cases. Like, oh, this was just a casual $8,000 down the toilet.
Yeah, the big underlying question there is really simple. I hit a big card. It doesn't have comps. How do I approach this?
Yes.
It's really important, I think, that the word comp gets used incorrectly a lot. Comps doesn't mean necessarily direct comps. If I'm selling a house, we're not going to look at what my house sold for the last time it sold. We're going to look at what similar things have sold for, unless my house sold last week.
Right.
So if it's a card like a downtown where there's dozens of sales every 3 or 4 days, we're going to look at directs. But if there's not a direct, that doesn't mean there aren't comps. Mm-hmm. This specific situation, what I told the person that pulled this card was, what you want to do is go look at what his of 5 Bowman first auto has done most recently.
Right.
And then you want to go look at somebody from last year's rookie class that was a hot prospect. And you want to look at what their first Bowman did about the same time last year.
Early. Yeah.
And then look at what their rookie card to 5 did about the same time. And whatever that delta is, say the rookie was 10% more than the Bowman first, then you're going to do the same thing when you price your card. It's a good way to just get a little feel there. The second part of that question was, do I grade it and hold? With baseball prospects, if you're a longtime listener, you've heard me say this every spring. There are 2 times that a baseball prospect's cards peak.
Leap. Yeah.
They leap. The first one is if they have a huge thrust up the top 100 or right when product drops and they're a chase.
Right.
The second time is basically at their call up. This particular prospect got like 10 games at the end of last year, and he didn't have rookie cards last year. So this is that time.
Yep.
It's not going to be higher than this unless he becomes an on-track Hall of Famer 10 years from now.
Right.
That's the peak. You don't want to grade it because it's going to take you, you're either going to spend $1,000 to grade it right now and get it back before opening day, or it's not going to be back to you until maybe he flops in the first 2 months of the season, and you're losing value. Sell it.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to find those kind of comps, look around at similar things. I think that's the key. There's not a direct,
philosophically. That's what comps are. It's a comparable. So as you look at that other guy that was a rookie and up and coming, a buyer might say to you, well, they're not quite the same caliber. They're probably right. You're going to have to figure some of this out. But just a reminder, when you're in that situation, it's a really good problem to have. I have a card. It's worth a chunk of change here. I'm not sure. You don't want to, and you always have the people have a tendency to overlook what an auction is designed to do because they hear of shilling and they hear of scams and they hear of all this stuff. But some cards are the right one to test the market with. Of 5 first to market, I don't know. I don't want to price it too low. Well, an auction will keep you really honest, but you better have listed it properly, good photos, tell people that it's coming up. But
I'm going to take that even a step further, Jason. If you're going to auction that type of a card, and you don't already have an eBay store that is cranking, like Jason has 100% feedback on 20,000 sales, like whatever that number is, he could list this himself.
Right.
If you don't have that, you send that to DC Sports. Yep. You send that to a consignor that will get it up quick, pay you a stronger percentage than you would get yourself because they have negotiated good rates with eBay. And that's how you
honestly, that's probably the play because they're more interested in getting that card listed quickly too, because they know they'll get more money if that's quick to the market. One of the first autos of that player. So if you're selling it, the time to sell it was yesterday. The product dropped. You want to be one of the first 2 sales on that.
Yes.
Is there risk? Yes. But if you go into this hobby thinking I have to squeeze every penny out of every card, you're going to get burnt out real quick. And the first time you have a month that's not as good as the others, you'll probably quit.
You're going to have very few pennies and lots of cards.
You're going to have weeks where 5 of the cards in your showcase you're excited about all take a dive.
Yeah.
Like this stuff happens. So if it's like, hey, they're going to give me 87%, but I get the realized gain of this first month of product release going into spring training, it's probably more than 100%.
That specific card that we're talking about now, that's a card there. The sellers probably, if they send it to DC or one of the big consigners, they're probably getting 93% or 95% on.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
So that's the question. Big hit, no comps. What do I do? There's our answer.
Yep.
You had one this week. Is your question. And I'm sure that some of you guys who sell on eBay as well and use coupon codes might be seeing this, but Jason definitely wanted to point this out because it was very frustrating and not a good look for eBay, and they're making sellers look bad.
I'm trying to look for my phone, but I don't see it. Essentially, here's what's happening. So I run right now a coupon that's a multi-quantity where it says buy X amount of cards, get X percentage off. I do a big discount with that because if I can get people to order more than one card on a low-end eBay standard envelope card, I can combine shipping, and essentially I get back a big chunk of the discount I just gave by not having to fund the shipping there by card. Okay, hopefully that wasn't confusing. But what's happening now is eBay is displaying every card with a coupon. And then the coupon is showing 40% off. Then you click
on mobile. This is only on mobile.
And you have screenshots. So pull this up. So the first one I'll show you is just like, it's an example. I think it's a 76 common I've got for like $250, right? But if you look below that, it says with this coupon code, you'll be paying like $130 or $140, whatever it is, right? If you click the see details, it says nothing in that window. Go and then you'll put the second photo up here, Gary. It says nothing in that window about buy 8, save 40, buy 6, save 30. It says nothing about it. So people are buying cards from me, leaving buyer's notes that it said it will be applied at checkout, but it wasn't. Please refund me the difference. So you can imagine at scale, if you're selling a lot of cards, low end and using standard envelope, and I'm telling you, like, this has probably happened 10 to 15 times in the last 3 weeks. So it's new. It never used to happen. It's happening now. It doesn't spell that out. Now, if they scroll down, they'll see that when they go to check out, it won't work. But essentially, eBay has decided, in my opinion, to restructure this at the chance that I think 20 or 30% of people will just buy it anyway at full price, even if they don't get the coupon. It's a way for eBay to market the card. Now, I love that they're aggressively marketing my card. I love that they're letting people know there's a coupon. What I don't love is that I am taking on the risk of somebody saying with a bad review, hey, I bought this card for $2 and it said a discount will be applied at checkout, and it wasn't. And then I told the buyer, and then they said, no, that's eBay. But how's eBay? They don't care. eBay does not care about the seller in this situation. So I called them on Sunday. I talked with them for 45 minutes. Gary was around. They're like, nope, it doesn't say that. I said, yes, it does. I built a draft. They logged into my account. They saw it. Then they said, well, if that happens, then you just need to tell the customer that only applies to the coupon. So basically, eBay's like, screw you, we don't care. So if you're a seller, I don't have the answer yet, but you need to pay attention. There's a reason this is happening more. And my hunch is that eBay decided, let's just do this. It's a little bit deceptive, but if people don't want to pay for full price, they don't have to, but they might get a push a few more sales through the end zone that way. But I'm getting left with 5-10 orders on a regular basis where, hey, where's my discount? I didn't get it. It puts the seller in a position where you're the bad guy and you didn't even do anything because I have no control.
Well, and then
over
that
how eBay
leads to
displays that.
potential negative feedback, which affects your metrics, and it's completely out of your control.
Yeah. So just another thing to be aware of as we have the long running list with the low end side of eBay and why there are some very unique challenges that make it less desirable to do this at scale.
Yeah.
I mean, where I left off with eBay was, we're not going to do anything about it. And I said, okay, can you make a note that I called in and you said you would have my back on this? Not the first time they've said yes to that and then throw me under the bus, but be mindful of it. Try to spell it out. The verbiage I'm using when people said that is I say, hey, this has been an ongoing issue with eBay. It never used to display the coupon like that. I've reached out to them. My coupon that's in the store is buy 8, save 40%. I'll absolutely honor that. But if you would like to cancel this sale and get a refund, you can. Now, would I have had that sale if it wasn't a coupon? I don't know. But now that I take something away from somebody, they're definitely not buying.
Right.
So, I'm losing sales on it. I'm risking negative reviews. And again, the name of the game with the high volume eBay is all it takes is somebody doing an order of 6 cards, not getting the discount, 6 negative reviews.
Yeah.
My metrics are cooked.
Yeah.
And the irony for eBay is it just costs you money too. It's not just me. So anyway, that's the eBay. Man, we need more guests, dude. We're in the gutter here. We are in the gutter here on negativity.
This is old school Ballcard Show.
Yeah.
Well, hey, next one's a positive thing.
All right, there you go.
We have experimented over the last 3 weeks. Shout out Clever Cuban, who has been pounding this drum forever, pounded the drum when he was a guest on our show. We resisted, and we finally caved. And we're not all the way there, but we started doing pre-bids on Whatnot, listing a portion of the cards that we're running in our auctions, in our shows, as available for pre-bid. And lo and behold, that's a good move.
Yeah. So time-wise, it takes less time than it does for an eBay listing.
Yep.
Where you're putting in the necessary metrics and uploading a photo. It gives people the opportunity to buy a card and not be in the show. We have a lot of people closer to our age that have kids that are, teenagers. Their schedules are insane, but they like a couple cards so they can put in a bid. The other thing it does for the seller, it's a huge advantage for us. So like on a $15 card, if things are slow, but you have $5 of pre-bids, that kind of like warms everything up as you're going, because you're not just like, are we going to clear 10? We're getting cooked right now, right? It helps a little bit with the momentum. The other thing we can do is if people are ready for bigger cards, as a seller, I have the option of running stuff that has more pre-bid activity. So I know that there's more interest here and less of a risk of completely being curb stomped on an auction, right? So,
our customers really like it. We have gotten nothing but positive comments.
There's been one negative for some of them, and it's the ones that also run businesses. And it's like, well, I'm not sourcing quite as many cards as I once was.
Yeah.
Which means for us, like, less cards at 50% and more cards at 75 to 85%.
Right.
But if you're somebody doing Whatnot and you're like, man, what can I do? I'm just having a tough time. Try it out. Pick maybe 10 or 15 of your better cards. The other thing it does is it forces us to more actively market our inventory for a show. because we can announce that pre-bids are live. You have a link you can drop in on socials. You can do a video. You guys have been appreciating and commenting on the preview videos that we do of, hey, here's some of the stuff we're running. But I won't be shocked if by end of the year I'm pre-listing everything in my shows. I think I might be that person. But if that happens, my eBay is not my main focus anymore.
Right.
With what I'm doing at home. But
yeah, the amount of time it takes me to list 20 pre-bids, I don't have the patience to list 120.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Nashville, are we gonna get some hot chicken? Do you like hot chicken, Gary?
I wasn't sure where that was going for a minute, but yeah, I do like hot chicken.
Have you had like Nashville hot chicken?
I have had Nashville hot chicken. I like it with the honey.
You a dark meat or white meat guy?
I'm a white meat guy.
I'm a dark meat guy.
I prefer wings. Wings are my favorite.
There's like two of them down there. I know Hattie B's is one of them. There's another big one there, but if you're in Nashville and you want to catch up with us, hit us up.
Yeah.
If you want us to hang out, shoot us a message. Let us know what's going on. I doubt we get to Broadway. If we do, maybe one time for like a couple hours. I really just don't need to hear a bunch of Jason Aldean covers.
Yeah, same.
But I'll go to Roberts and listen to some real country music. Where's
the place you said you wanted us to go that's the karaoke place?
Oh, Santa's Pub.
Okay, there we go.
That's actually pretty close. Santa's Pub is closer to Belmont, but I think if I remember correctly, it's a double wide trailer. It's a karaoke bar. It has an ATM cemented into the ground outside.
Love it.
Like an old phone booth.
We're going to be dead driving home, aren't we? We're just going to be pure exhausted.
Yeah, be exhausted. and I think it's just like a cash bar for beers out of a cooler.
Love it.
It was a legit karaoke bar, and I guess some celebrities pop in from time to time. So
love it.
You might see Gary singing Hillbilly Deluxe in there. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. We got anything else, buddy, before we head out?
I don't think so. Appreciate you guys hanging with us for an hour on an old school Ballcard Show episode.
Join the Discord.
Yes.
Right? Whatnot. Not happening this week, Sunday at 4:30, the 22nd.
22nd.
Because we'll be driving back.
Yep.
But join that Discord. Take advantage of all the other stuff that's going on there. There was something else. I forget. Must not be that important.
Nope. We're good.
All right. Only one left to.
Oh, you want to try that one again?
Only one thing left to do.
What's that?
This has been the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast
for the sports collector.
Bye now.
Peace.